I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that I did not pass my first driving test. I'll show you my and hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm gonna share with you my driving experience, my driving lesson, as well as my road test experience. And I'm very happy to say that I passed my road test and I'm now holding an N. So N means I can drive by myself without any help from my husband, and I can drive my whole family, and I can drive with a friend. I'm gonna speak in English because I would like to reach other audience as well. I'm so happy right now because finally I have freedom to go anywhere. I have independence. I don't have to depend on my husband to go anywhere. And I'm so happy because finally I was able to do it. For those of you who are new to my channel, I would like to introduce myself again. My name is Rox Kelly. I've been here in Canada for 9 years. But most of the time I've been driven by my husband. In the past, I was driving with my husband without any passenger because I was only holding an L, which is a learner's license. And with an L, I have some limitations. I had some restrictions. It means that I can only have one passenger aside from the professional one, who is my husband. I can't even drive with my daughter because I was so scared because I was still learning at that point. I've been here for 9 years. By why it took me so long to get my driver's license. When I arrived here in Canada, I was living with my employers, and they told me that, it's not practical for me to drive because they wouldn't let me drive with their kids anyways. And when I was not earning enough money, I was only earning minimum amount of money before, it doesn't make sense for me to own a car. So I was living with them for 4 years. I didn't learn how to drive because what's the point of learning how to drive if you don't have a car yet? When I left my employment, I lived with my husband in Vancouver, and in Vancouver, the transportation is really good. The commute is really good. With my husband, I don't need to drive because the bus stop is just in front of our house, and the bus runs every 15 minutes. We were in Vancouver for more than a year, and I was with my employer for 4 years. So that's already 5 years of not driving here in Canada. After Vancouver, we moved to New West. When we were there in that apartment, the bus stops going south and going north are both in front of our apartment. So we don't need to drive as we were living in that condo for 2 years. Again, another excuse for me not to learn how to drive. And finally, I decided to take the computer test to get the L. So L means that I can have learner's permit. The test was composed of 50 questions, and you have to get 40 correct answers to be able to pass. And you pass, you get this. And with this, you can take road test after a year. And if you pass the road test, you can get the N. So 1 year for L to get the N. I've been holding an L for 3 years before taking the road test and before passing this. Why? Another why. Because after I got my L, I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, my husband was so scared of me taking the test or being behind the wheel. And I understand that. I understand that he just wants me and a baby to be safe. Then after giving birth, nobody was watching my baby. And so it took me forever to get my N. But anyways, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that I was able to do it now. I'm going to share with you my experience when I had my driving lessons as well as my driving test. So guys, I had 2 different instructors and I had my husband. So there were 3 people teaching me how to drive. First instructor wasn't really good. We were always fighting. It was not a good fit. And so the first time I took the test, I didn't pass. I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that I did not pass my first driving test. I will tell you guys the reasons why I didn't pass the first time. First, I wasn't ready. Emotionally, I wasn't ready. And second reason, my instructor at that point wasn't a good fit for me. Wasn't very helpful. He's not helping me boost my confidence. I didn't want to badmouth anybody, But it made so much difference when I found another instructor who was really good, who was very patient, who was telling me things that helped me boost my confidence, who was telling me that I can do this, who was telling me the rules of the road. And I compared my first instructor and my second instructor, and it was way, way different. And I'm so thankful to my second instructor because he was very good. He was very professional. He would not give you bad comments. Instead, he would give you corrective solution. So the next time you wouldn't do the same thing. So third reason why I did not pass the first road test I had was my examiner as well. The examiner I had, she was so strict that when she got into the car, I was so nervous. I was so scared. First time she went inside, I felt the tense. I felt the strictness. Probably because I wasn't ready that time, so she felt how nervous I was. It's like you went to a job interview and you haven't opened your mouth yet, but you already knew that the HR would not pass you because of the way they looked at you. And when I took my second road test and I passed, the examiner was really good to me. When I talked to the examiner, he made me so comfortable right away. I took my road test in the summer, so there was no school. And the first thing he told me was, there's no school today, so ignore the 30 kilometer per hour. But when you see the playground, it's still in effect. It really made me comfortable. He was telling me all the things that I have to do. He was telling me where I'm going to be graded. I'm not going to tell you guys where I took my first test, but I'm going to tell you where I took my second road test. So the second road test I had was in Port Coquitlam. I think if you are going to ask your instructor, they will tell you as well to take your road test in Port Coquitlam because I think the road in there and the examiners are way, way nicer. And I passed. I don't know, because maybe I was ready emotionally. I had the best instructor, or the examiner was way nicer, or it's a combination of everything. But I'm so happy that I passed because finally I can drive. My husband, he doesn't have to drive for me anymore. And in the past few days, I've been driving by myself to work. I've been driving my sister to her work. I've been driving my daughter. We've been going around the area and I'm not scared anymore. It's the best feeling ever that finally I can do this by myself. I was like asking myself why it took me so long. I should have done this before. Even I was living in Vancouver, even I was living in New Westminster, like I should have not make any reasons not to learn how to drive. Those ladies who are not driving right now, what are you waiting for? You don't have to depend on your husband. You don't have to wait for them. You don't have to take the bus. It's way, way easier. It's gonna make your life comfortable. My work's not even 10 minutes drive. But if I take the transit, I have to leave 45 minutes before. So it's like so much time wasted there. So to all of you who are not driving yet, learn how to drive now. It feels so good to be by yourself, to be free and to be independent. But always remember, follow the rules of the road. Don't drink and drive. Don't use your phone. Here in BC, I don't know if it's in whole Canada, if you use your phone while you are driving and you are caught, you will be fined $1,000. Yes, $1,000. So don't use your phone while you are driving. My Filipino viewers, you're probably wondering why do we have to drive here in Canada or even in the US or in Australia or in the UK. If you are living farther away from the city, you don't have reliable transportation. Unlike when I was in Vancouver before, the transportation there was really good. It's like every 15 minutes. Here you have to wait half an hour or 1 hour, or in other cities you have to wait 1.5 hours. And worse, in some areas they don't have public transportation at all. I was also asked by my coworker why I only learned how to drive here in Canada. For my non-Filipino subscribers, the reason why we don't know how to drive, in the Philippines, transportation is like everywhere. We don't need to drive in the Philippines because there was jeepney. It's like a small bus where you can take that wherever you go. There was a tricycle It looks like a motorcycle with an extra wheel and they can take passengers. So pedicab, it's like a bicycle with a third wheel. And there's a taxi, there's an SUV taxi where they can take like maybe 11, 12 passengers. There are trains. And there's so many buses. In the Philippines, some areas, we don't have designated bus stops or designated jeepney stops. Those areas, you can just stand in front of your house and wait for the transportation to come to you. Unlike here in Canada or in the US, you have to go to the bus stops to be able to catch the bus. So there you go, guys. This is my experience driving. And before I end this video, I would like to share with you my driving school. This instructor was able to help me pass my N, and I am so glad to refer him to you because it's worth it, and he's not expensive as well. He's charging $50 an hour.
Show your end.
No, this is my instructor. His name is Birus. He's really good. Just give me 1 second. I'll show you my end. Okay, so if you guys are here in Maple Ridge in Port Coquitlam.
Yeah.
Okay, this is his driving car. Yes, that's his phone number. You can call him 778-896-1420. He's really good. I pass. Thank you, Birus. I'm not gonna see him again.
No problem.
He's not gonna see me again, but I'm gonna contact you for my friend, my sister.
No.
And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on my next video. And don't worry, I'm gonna be driving safely. Bye. Mwah.